Hello everyone, this is Ponshan Kavera, and today I want to talk about education beyond COVID and why I think online learning is gonna thrive and improve education. We are living in a very unprecedented time today with COVID-19 and how it has greatly affected systems. But when you look at the two best sectors that have been hugely affected, not forgetting other sectors, but this time around, look at education and health. These are sectors that have been hugely disrupted so much, and this is something that happens once in a lifetime. We've not experienced this for the last 50 and 100 years. Of course, the health sector has been hugely affected with cases such as Ebola. We've been subjected to quite a number of social health impacts that have continued to affect humanity. But now, when you look at education in totality, we, for the last 50 and 100 years or centuries, we've not been affected by anything hazardous or this kind of crisis. And that's why when COVID happened, it hit us so hard. But now, when you look at the reason why this sector, especially education, was so much hit, is that we've built our system in a way that they are not adaptable or resilient. It is same, it's uniform. We've not been able to think about the best way we can facilitate teaching and learning without people merging in the same classroom of 100, 30, 200 and all those huge number of people. And now this is the time that we're able to think about the best way we can facilitate teaching and learning beyond COVID, because COVID has come to stay. Policymakers must be able to come up and help us, especially government policy henchmen must be able to really think about education, especially in concomitant with online learning, online teaching and learning. This system has been in existence for quite a while, but you observe that many people have not even been taking such degrees serious, that in any case it's an online degree. But we've gotten very evident cases of people that have been able to study online and they have done tremendous things in their courses of studies and even on the aftermath of their degrees. So I think we need to make education sector a little more adaptable. Responsible institutions should help us to establish infrastructures that will be able to facilitate effective online teaching. You see, people have come up with different theories to theorize this idea of online learning and all that, but we've seen that even with online learning you can be able to have an inclusive class. We've seen people participating online. We've attended classes online, especially during my last semester. That is my experience as a student doing online learning as a result of COVID. So we just have to make sure that online class facilitation is highly considered, and responsible institutions are able to provide us with effective materials, effective infrastructures to facilitate such kind of classes, because now this is the new normal and we need to embrace it. We need to understand that education must stay even way beyond COVID, because this is where we shall be able to establish a meaningful human resource that will be able to bring together society after this kind of social impacts that have hit the world. So online learning is able to thrive even beyond COVID, and it is able to improve education. We need to understand that the formal kind of teaching and learning that we've been subjected to over the years, the way we've been educated or the way we've been educating others, well, it's been the order, but now we are now in the new order, and we need to embrace the fact that these social challenges happen and they come to open our minds to think way beyond our boundaries. and make sure that we can be able to have an inclusive form of teaching, especially when we're preparing teachers that are going to go out there and teach our children and our students, because now it is online. But now a key question arises again, and how will online teaching be facilitated to remote areas? That question also goes to those key policymakers. They must think of the best mechanisms that can be done to facilitate an online class inclusively, without leaving aside those in remote areas, where, especially in developing countries, where some of the remote areas are so remote that even schools and teachers may not have enough facilities to facilitate a digital form of teaching and learning. So that is a question that I send out there to education policymakers to think about that, because we cannot say that COVID will go tomorrow or today, but then we cannot rule out education. Even if they survive 2 or 3, such people must be able to build a new society based on the knowledge they have, to manipulate the existing resources, little or many, to establish order in our society. So education is that important, and surprisingly, it is one of the institutions that have been hugely hit, not negating other institutions that have been massively affected by COVID. So I call upon, education policymakers to think about that, and how we are going to promote online teaching and learning, of course following the Freudian ideals of training a modern critical thinker, a participative form of learning. I was fortunate enough to teach with my supervisor last year in the evening of our course, and it was online. Classes were effectively facilitated online, and the students learned. We engaged them in their respective countries where they were, or in their respective apartments and hostels, whatever they were. Classes were facilitated effectively, and you would see there is this kind of presentations were executed, discussions were carried out. So it's possible to have an online kind of teaching and learning. But now the key question is how, with what facilities? Once we are able to address that, COVID will not hit education maximally. However maximum it will have hit it, we shall be able to recover very fast, because of the existence of such mechanisms that are geared towards building a formidable force of education. Thank you so much for listening to me. God bless you as you build the future using education as a key pillar.